Hi there, I'm Oatmeal Joy Arnold. Wanted to respond to that video again. I have already live streamed for almost 10 hours already. And I feel like I'm just losing my soul while doing this. Not really. I'm kind of joking, but kind of not joking. I feel like I'm mostly making this video for myself, but I know that some people may find this a little bit interesting. I actually took some notes this time. I'm Oatmeal. I should be a little bit better than this, and sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. That was one of the questions in the video that he made, Mr. Claw. Some people call him Claw, I believe, and I have to say that I'm not as good at all of this as I would want to be, or as I thought I was. Sometimes I do a terrible job, but I still put myself out there onto the internet. Almost everything I do, I put out there. And some people wouldn't do it, and sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't do it, and sometimes I feel like I should, and I do, and I think about it, and I'm not always on the same page with myself. I made a lot of mistakes and stuff over the years. Sometimes I talk about it, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's hard to talk about it. Sometimes I don't talk about it because I feel like it would undo the greater good. Or, let me rephrase that, not the greater good. Or, what I mean to say is, it would undo what I was trying to do. What I was trying to do. The points that I was trying to make in any given moment in my life. Including when I was in Vietnam, teaching English. How could you teach English if you can't talk? I don't know. Let's not talk about that right now in this video. Perhaps I may edit this video. I will try to edit this video. This video is already messed up, and I'm a wannabe perfectionist, or I really am a perfectionist, and because of that, because I'm that kind of person, I'm the kind of person that would not normally do this, and you're asking yourself, then why are you doing this? Making a video, or writing an article, making a meme, all those different things that you've done in your life. You do it, and you say you don't do it, or you would not do it, but you do it. Why do you do it? I do it for a lot of reasons. I try to talk about it in my blog. I'm a Hive blog writer, and whatever else that I do or done, it doesn't really matter, or it does matter in my mind. But I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about a lot of things, and I've said it, and I'll say it again. I could be wrong, but I do it, and I believe that I'm right, and I hope I'm right. But at the same time, I try to have an open mind. I try to be open-minded, and I try to let people know what I believe, and I try to explain it. But one of the mistakes I've made, and I've made many, is I don't take the time to explain. And that's why I'm trying to explain now. I'm responding to the video that he made. It's not like every day that a person makes a video about me. It doesn't happen. If it did happen, then I'd be crazy to do this all the time. Except maybe it would be okay. There are exceptions to that type of rule. There are exceptions to the rule, as they say. And I've taken notes here on this notepad, and I'm going to read it off a little bit. And there's a few other things I might say. There's a lot more where that came from. And that's why I spend a lot of time writing on my blog and everywhere else on the internet. And I try to spread my oatmeal everywhere so that people can eat it. But that sounds disgusting if you don't like oatmeal. But that's what I wanted to say. No, I'm joking. I want to say more. I want to say that it's really difficult to talk about this kind of stuff sometimes. And it shouldn't be, but it is. And it isn't, but it is. And it kind of is, but it isn't, but it is. I have to say that. I'm saying this in a crazy kind of way because it is crazy, but it's not. It's a paradox. And I'm telling you this because it's a little bit of how my mind works. And people can call it whatever they want. And people can label people like me as crazy or retarded or a number of different things. I hope I don't get banned on YouTube or anywhere else for saying some of those words. It's like sometimes you don't even know what words will get you banned. The Joe Rogan word was featured in his video, the first video. He highlighted that word, and he said fella instead of the N word. I'm not going to say it right now, and I don't think it really matters. And the other day, Owen Benjamin was talking to Chrissy Meyer about that, and other people talk about that too. People talk about this, and it's like important to talk about what words are okay to say or not say, and I believe that we should be allowed to say whatever we want, kind of thing. And you can say, well, there's limitations. And I say, if I'm in my own house, and I own my house, for example, I should be able to say whatever I want. The problem can be if you're actively hurting people. Not just trying to hurt people, which is terrible, but if you're really, really hurting people severely, too much, too badly, then you probably cross the line with whatever you're doing, whether it's some kind of action, whether it's a word you're saying, and it could be any word. It's not just like, oh, the N word. It's not just a specific word, and that's the thing about it. It's not just that you should not say a word or say it in a certain way. It's that it really depends on a lot of different things, and it's very nuanced and a lot of stuff. And I try to talk about that sometimes, and people talk about this, and we used to talk about this, but that's not the point of this video. So what am I talking about? What the hell am I talking about? Why am I making a big deal about it? Because it's a big deal, but I've taken notes, and I've not even read my notes. So let me begin with what is this? And the title of this video should be called What is This? Even though I feel like I may add some extra words to this title. But for the most part, it's called What is This? I have 7 questions listed. Number 1, what is that? Teaser trailers for the ArnoldAttic films. That's what it is. Just like how you would have these trailers for movies and television series and shows. We all know what a trailer is, and a teaser trailer is supposed to make you interested in the movie, the film, the documentary, the show, whatever it is. And I would make them for my own home videos, the ArnoldAttic films, as I started calling them in 2010. Number 2, what is that? The ArnoldAttic films are home videos that we started making between the years of 1996 and 2003. So they're mostly just home videos of me, my family, my friends in Oregon, where I grew up. We started making the videos in 96 when I was turning 11, or right before I was turning 11. The details matter to me, and I get all into it for a lot of reasons, but we don't have time to talk about all of that. I'll try not to talk too much. Am I saying that right? I grew up not knowing how to talk because I couldn't hear. I had hearing tubes. I was partly deaf the first few years. I started hearing better. The tubes were in my ears until I was like 10. They were taken out, I think. I'm pretty sure because we went there and they took something out. I'm pretty sure they took it out, and because I was hearing better, and sometimes it could be caused by the common cold, and I could get a stuffy ears, not just a stuffy nose kind of thing. And it could be other things too. I may have, who knows what kind of problems I may have, or problems I may have had growing up. Things like autism and ADHD and the Treacher-Collins syndrome and on and on and on. And some people struggle more than others, and perhaps bipolarism is something that runs in the family, and who knows how many different things. But I would say in response to some of that, we're all fucked up. We're all messed up. We all got problems in life. Some people may have more problems than others, or different kinds of problems. Apples and oranges. Sometimes we cannot or should not compare each other to each other, and at the same time, we have a lot of things in common, good and bad, and it's important to understand the differences and similarities that people have. And I used to talk about that with Vietnamese people, and I uploaded all kinds of videos onto the internet over the years, and I'm not proud of everything I do, or a lot of it, because a lot of it was unfinished videos, unedited videos, bad, terrible videos for a wide variety of reasons, which we may get into. And I've already made a bunch of videos and stuff talking about some of it already, and I do a bad job at explaining a lot of it, or I never explain a lot of it, and maybe I should, and maybe I shouldn't, maybe it doesn't matter, but I'm doing it mostly for myself, and maybe it does matter, and maybe this is good, and it's for the record, and this is what I'm thinking that I want to do it, and I could be wrong, and I could be stupid, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm making this video, and I made some videos, and I wrote some articles, and I'm currently working on an article right now, and I'm not going to say everything that I want to say right now, or in the articles, or in other videos, but I still try to say what I want to say, and I try to say either too slowly or too quickly. As you can see, either I do a terrible job at explaining things, and I'm not clear enough, or I'm too clear, and some people are gonna be like, get to the point, get to the point. Now, said Dead Wing Poet. No. Dead Wing Duck. No. Dead Wing Derek, what? Dead Wing Potato, no. Dead Wing Oatmeal, no. Dead Wing Dork, there, got it. Cut all that out, and let me say this. Cut it out, said Joey from Full House. I just remembered. Wow, Full House. I uploaded a video 2 years ago, and I got like 400 views, even though it's not a really good video, and the thumbnail is terrible, and I uploaded a lot of kinds of videos, including that one, and I just talk on the camera, and I upload it, and some people will try to edit videos and then put in a good thumbnail and add special effects and subtitles and everything else that you can imagine under the sun to make it more interesting, and fix up the audio. And sometimes there's audio syncing problems where it looks like I'm a Japanese cartoon or movie, where you see my mouth move and then you hear the audio, and it's like, wow, is this being dubbed? Is he really a foreigner for Japan who's lost his mind? Maybe, maybe not. But here's what I gotta say. I'm trying to answer some questions here, and I understand that I'm foolish sometimes and a lot of different things. And I'm not here to say that I'm a perfect person, but I am here to say that I do try, and I'm not really good at this, and I should be good at this, which is embarrassing on my part for a lot of reasons. Like, I've been making videos for 26 years, off and on, almost every year, or actually every year I've been in videos since '96, except for '98 and '99, as far as I know. I was not in videos in '98 or '99. But other than that, ever since that '96, I've been in videos, and it pains me to say that I'm still not really good. And if you're the kind of person who struggles, I would say, hey, if I'm still struggling, then you have nothing to worry about. But who am I to say anything or to give any advice? I'm not a doctor or a scientist or a lawyer or anything else. And so when you go to a court of law, you could just say, that person didn't use the disclaimer in his YouTube video, I killed a man. Your Honor, jurors of the court, I'm in a court of law. This is a great trial. I'm O.J. Simpson, and I'm trying to let people know. What? What are you trying to let people know about? Well, I'm trying to let people know that I am innocent because I watched their YouTube video and they didn't say it was not advice and I took the advice, so I'm dissolved from responsibility. Wow. What I say to that is that's kind of stupid. Don't get me started on a number of topics that, like copyright, which we're not going to talk about right now because this video is about me, which is pretty terrible in some ways, because it's like, do you have some kind of ego, Joey Arnold? An eagle? Yeah, Arnold means like ego with strength. No, not that kind of ego. Like an inner ego by Mr. Sigmund Freud. What? Who was that? The guy who thought he could... Ooh, oh, let's not talk about Stefan Molyneux and stuff he said about that guy. Let's not get into psychology. Even though I try to get into that kind of stuff, and that's why I study my life, and I try to preserve some of the stuff as much as I can of my life, including my videos. Which is one of the reasons why I upload videos. I mean, I try to keep my videos on it, and I keep it even though they're dumb or they're retarded and a lot of variation of the things. And I say that to myself when I look at my videos, and I don't want to look at it just like Johnny Depp, just like some people, some actors. It's a normal thing. I'm just stating the obvious here that it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Like, it's obviously not a good thing, like to upload a terrible video. And I upload a video and you can like look at him and you can be like, wow, does this Joey Arnold think that video is good? No, just because I uploaded it doesn't mean I like it. I just put it there for the record and be like, I did that, and it's stupid. Except the difference is I did not say that, or sometimes I do, but what would you know? Because 3 of my channels got banned. That means 3,000 videos, or I can't remember how many exactly. I used to try to count them and add them all up, but a lot of videos, thousands of videos, and I lost a lot of them. I still got some of them. I don't know exactly. If you can hook me up, and if you know where YouTube heaven is, where videos go when they die, that would be a wonderful thing, because it's possible hypothetically that it could be on some hard drives, especially because even if videos are deleted, just like any file on a hard drive, it's still there even after it's deleted until it's written over. Any nerd can tell you that. I'm here to tell you that I'm just a person who's done a couple different things in his life, and I've made myself look like a fool, sometimes on purpose and sometimes accidentally, sometimes just a wide combination of reasons or not reasons. Sometimes I think about it and sometimes I don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you're not. And sometimes you're just like, oh, Joey Arnold, who's like, I'm too soft to be a nut. And some of you could be like, are you trying to be funny? No, I just talk this way. Like, not all the time, but when I'm making a video, I kind of like to be theatrical. And I like to not talk right, or I just can't, or I can and I cannot, depending on the day, depending on the word, depending on the thing, like, because I taught myself how to talk for the most part growing up the first 10 years, and after that I've adapted a little bit and grew, and then I continue to grow as a person and evolve, and anybody should. You always learn, you should, and improve upon yourself as a person. And anybody who doesn't is a couch potato, not an oatmeal, but a couch potato. That's terrible, and that's great, and that's too bad, and I have to... I try to expand and I try to be open-minded, but I've I let it all out, not all the time, but I let it all out onto the internet, the good and the bad, the good and the bad and the ugly of myself. And I'm not here to say that I'm proud of a lot of stuff when I just put it out there and I just want it out there just as a copy, a backup. It was like my cloud, my hard drive. That's what I had YouTube for, and other websites too over the years. And going back to my notes here and my 7 questions. Number 1, what is that? Teaser trailer for the ArnoldAttic. Number 2, what is that? Attic films, the home videos from 96 to 03. Number 3, where is that? What is that? The ArnoldAttic films, the home videos are from these VHS tapes. I counted about 44 tapes. Exactly 44 at one time, and I believe it was 2009. I was counting them. I counted 44 that I had. I went to Forest Grove. I grabbed the tapes. I wasn't living at my home at that time. I went back, grabbed them, went back to Portland, Oregon, where I had my apartment, and I was editing and it wasn't the first time, but that I was copying the videos, trying to copy the videos and stuff. But that's the origin of the Attic Films videos that we made as a family and as friends from 96 to 03. It was recorded onto VHS tapes, or sometimes the smaller type of those tapes, and then you had to get an adapter and put it in, and then it would be copied from VCR to VCR. So that's what I wrote on here. I already know what to say for the most part, because I've said this before and I've written about it over the years, and I have to say that it's a crazy thing to talk about because it's just kind of confusing. It's a long story, but I started trying to preserve the home videos before they start to deteriorate, and I started copying the videos from VCR to VCR possibly as early as '99. And over the years I would do it, and sometimes I was making like music videos, and that was really interesting. And you can dub music into it if you have 2 VCRs, and it goes into the other VCR. And then it went to DVD later on, 2004, and it was uploaded to Zynga, and then to YouTube and Facebook and MySpace and different websites over the years after that. It started in 2004. Videos started getting uploaded to the internet. It started getting copied to DVDs, and then to hard drives, and then to the internet, and sometimes directly to the internet, but mostly to the hard drive first, then to the internet. But I would always like go back a bunch of different times over the years trying to copy, and then I would realize that I didn't have it all. I need to find the other secret missing videotape over here, and I would find it and I would try to copy it, but then I realized I didn't do it good enough. It needs to be at a higher resolution, a higher quality, and sometimes the quality wasn't good enough, and sometimes I was dealing with a copy of the original, and sometimes the original was lost. And sometimes I still had the original, and sometimes I didn't, and sometimes the videos, the actual VHS tapes were falling apart. It's a long story, and I get into it because it's important to me, not to say that is really important, except for the kind of people that do this kind of stuff. If you've done this kind of stuff, you know how I feel. And recently, in the last few years, I've copied some audio tapes as well. We're not here to talk about that right now, but I've done a lot of things like that as the self-prescribed family historian. I've made it a point to do stuff like scan a bunch of photos and drawings and all kinds of stuff and put it out there as a timeline and as a like a biography of the family, and mostly for for me as an autobiography, and I believe strongly in understanding myself. So I go back and I look at the videos and the photos and a lot of things from my own life and from people I know and everything else, and I try to outline it and reference it because I know that I can't always rely on my memory, and it can be too subjective sometimes. I try to seek after objective truth and reality and evidence and truth and all that crap that Stefan Molyneux would say was actually believe, and some people kind of make fun of him or other people. I believe strongly in philosophy. I strongly believe in a wide variety of things, and I don't always make it known what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, what I believe or not believe, and I've done a bad job at representing myself, and sometimes that was on purpose or partly on purpose, or it was accidental and I wasn't really aware of it. And as I get older, I become more aware of a lot of different things, but a lot of times I was in a hurry. I was trying to take shortcuts, and I was multitasking, and I was exhausted, and I was going all over the place like a chicken with no head, and I was just quacking like a duck and saying, wait, I'm a duck, no, I'm a chicken, what am I? Am I a squirrel or a whale of a tail? Am I an elephant? What am I? I'm not a rhino, I'm not a crook, I'll never tell you a lie, I didn't have sex with Monica Lewinsky, and I'll never ever sell you anything that you don't belong to own, that you don't deserve to own. What am I talking about? Okay. I don't know. I'm kind of just rambling. Sometimes I kind of do that, and there's like kind of like meaning behind what I say, and sometimes there isn't. And I can stop and go with what I do, and I've literally uploaded videos where I'm just like rambling, and sometimes I'm not rambling, and sometimes I'm more coherent, sometimes I'm not. And these longer form videos where I'm like live streaming for 4 hours, I can go back and forth a little bit and act crazy and then talk slow and then talk fast, and I do that, and I like doing that, and it's fun, and some people may not understand and some people do, and it's a thing that happens online. You will get mixed responses, and some of it is sincere and some of it is not, and it's a terrible thing and a great thing, and you gotta have tough skin, no thick skin. That's right. And you got to be ready for it, and I've been ready for it, and I've been okay with it, and I've grown over the years, and sometimes it was hard going over some of it. Like it's been a rough ride. The mountains are high, the valleys are low, and I'm confused on which way to go. That was a song from the Power Rangers movie that came out in '95. And then we made a video that was a parody of that. That was an hour long in '96, and it was a big deal, and it was a big thing for me. Growing up, started watching it in '93. That's when it came on. It premiered in America. That show, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I grew up watching that since probably the late '80s. Born in '85 in Oregon, and I was really into the Turtles and the Rangers, and that's why I put them in the teaser trailers. And I did not make it clear all the time that those small little videos were teaser trailers that were supposed to make people interested in the ArnoldAttic films. Not to say that the ArnoldAttic films are that terrific, because for the most part they're ordinary home videos of just some random people that you don't know. Looking from the outside in is just, oh, here are some people just running around doing some normal kid stuff, pretending to be in a movie or whatever, and a lot of it's not anything except for a few references to a few like things like, oh, we're wrestling, or hey, it's snakes and Kermit the Frog, and a few random skits during that era. And there was a couple different movies I made during that period of time from 96 to 2003, and then I graduated high school in 2004, and I was off going to a Bible college in New York, and then another one in West Virginia, and I made a few videos during that period of time, and with a few people, and they were uploaded. Those videos were uploaded, and I just went on from that to work in Portland and live in Portland, and but that was after living in Hawaii and working with the Salvation Army there. And as I lived my life, I was just making videos and then uploading them, and perhaps I was too careless at times, and a whole variety of things. And that's life, and I decided to live a public life, even if not a lot of people were watching. Sometimes there were more people at times, and a lot of people knew me in high school, and I'm not saying that it was a good thing. It was a good thing at times, or I felt like it was in a way. A lot of people liked me, and it was for a wide variety of reasons. People knew me. I was a character. I would write articles about people and hand them out to people, and I'd draw pictures of people, and I would hand them out to people, and I would play basketball, and people would know that and see me, and I was exciting. I was an exciting basketball player because I was a small little white boy, and I would hop, and people would comment on that, on how crazy of a player I was, because my style was a lot like Charles Barkley or Dennis Rodman, because I was wild and aggressive, and I'd make crazy layups and 3-pointers, and I was just running around. I was somewhat of a normal kind of nerd slash jockey in high school, and people knew me. And then after that, I was feeling like I was a famous person, and I was to an extent that most of the 800 students in my high school knew me, or I actually don't know how many people. I just kind of assume, because like everywhere I went, people knew me, and people knew my name, and people who I didn't know knew me. And that was especially known my last year in high school, and I did a 180 because I was really shy the first year in high school, and then the last year I was just all over the place doing all kinds of things, like in the drama club, in the art club, and doing a bunch of things. And I was a basketball manager too, and I was doing all those things, and then I go into college, and I kind of felt like I was this big show, this big man, like this person who could do anything kind of thing, and I was and I wasn't, but I was becoming cocky. I was becoming prideful, and a wide variety of things. We're not here to go over my whole life right now, and you can mock me if you want, and it's totally fine to mock me, and I can mock myself because I do get into it. But the point is, I started becoming a person that was pretty cool, which is why people were calling me Cool Kid in high school. That was my nickname, Cool Kid. And I started getting full of myself, and that affected me. It probably affected me more than it should have, and that affected the decisions I would make over the years, the kind of things I would do, including the kind of videos I would upload and throw onto the internet, poop onto the internet. And I have to admit that I made a lot of mistakes, including just like getting full of myself kind of thing, becoming prideful and cocky, wide variety of things. I have to say it's not that simple to analyze and outline and summarize. Like it's a bunch of things, and I don't like talking about it, or I didn't like to talk about it because I thought it would undo the good that I did. Talking about the bad would undo the good, and people would get distracted, especially when I would try to point out bad things that I saw in the world. And it could be anything. Sometimes it was personal, and I would imagine a lot of times, maybe too often, it was personal that I would target a person, and I had good intentions, but the way that I was doing it was too aggressive or any number of things. And I can't say that for every single thing. It depends on the situation and the person. But in general, you really got to pick your battles in life. And I was all over the place for a wide variety of things, the evolution of my life and everything. And that translated into the kind of videos, good and bad, a wide variety of videos that I've done over the years. And I would have to break down each video and tell you what was I thinking and how did I fail. It'd be similar to George Lucas admitting that his prequels were terrible, even though it was a great story, and I agree it's the loveliest story, and I'm not being sarcastic, and sometimes I sound like I'm being sarcastic, and sometimes I'm being terrible at doing that and translating myself into audio form, the video audio form. That's called video, moving pictures. I made videos that are cringy, and I need to get better at that, and I'm getting better at that, and I have to admit to that. And you really got to focus in life, and I have to say that to myself. You really got to focus in life, and you cannot do everything. You cannot really. Sometimes you got to delegate, and sometimes you should not perhaps micromanage, and you really got to figure out what you're good at and not just what you like to do. But if you can like to do what you're good at, that's the greatest thing. Sometimes people have it backwards, and they're like, well, I love this thing, so I'm going to be good at it, but not necessarily. Like, it may not work necessarily. It depends, but for the most part, not really. Hey, baby. Yeah. So, I'm trying to tell you that I've done a bunch of things, and it's tough to break down. And DeadWing, what's his name again? DeadWingDork. So, he does a video about me, and it's 3 hours long, and it's a pretty good video for his little podcast, his little show. I say little, it's a joke. It's not little. Like, he has like 300,000 followers. Compared to me, how many do I have? Like, none in a way. Like, the followers that I have may not really be actual followers, and that's the difference between like somebody like me and somebody like him. Not to say that I've not had followers, but not any hardcore followers that I know, minus maybe a few, but we don't have time to talk about that. And for the most part, I don't know what I don't know. Like, I don't know, but I don't know. That's one of the things that DeadWingDork would say. I don't know, and I like it, and it's a good thing, and it's a sound bite. A sound bite. I like sound bites. They're cool. They're interesting. I like it when Yoda said, "Should I call you?" That's funny. And then who's her name can say, "Call me maybe." Should I call you? Call me maybe. It's a song. So call me maybe. And Yoda's like, "Should I call you? I know what you did last summer. It's really interesting. It's really exciting. And I think it's cool." And sometimes, or a lot of times, I would just do what I liked. Upload videos that I liked. I made the ArnoldAttic teaser trailers, and I just put a bunch of random stuff in it and uploaded it because I liked it. But there was limitations to my life. Like, a lot of times these videos would take many hours to make, and I needed better software. I needed more RAM, more more horsepower in the CPU. I needed a better. I just needed better computers and everything, and I didn't. But I would still try to do what I could with what I had, and so I'd make these videos, and it would take a long time, and then I would just like I would rust them out prematurely a lot of times. So either I would upload videos that were not finished, that were not done, or I would edit the videos and then upload them. And there were problems in the videos when the software was finalizing the videos. It would have glitches. I'm not saying that right. I know I'm not saying that right. Hold on. That's really hard to say. Like I said, it's hard to say some things for me. But I try, and sometimes I can and I cannot. Sometimes I cannot. But let me say, sometimes I can. Sometimes you're a nut. Sometimes you just think you're a nut. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you are. Sometimes you don't know. And that's life. I'm like a boo-boo, screwing around not knowing what to do. Really? That's right, really. Are you on drugs? No, that's one of the questions I heard. But I understand if you think I do or am not, and I think there was one of the questions here that's relating to that. But let me make sure that I've answered all the questions before that. Let's start over. Number 1, what is that? Teaser trailers for the ArnoldAttic. Number 2, what is that? What does that mean? What is ArnoldAttic? They're home videos that we made from 96 to 2003. And what is that? Where is that? What are these home videos? These are just home videos, and they were recorded mostly onto VHS tapes. I would copy it later on from VCR to VCR many times, and sometimes I lost the original copies, and sometimes the copies that I had were bad quality because I had a good copy. The original would be usually a 2-hour videotape, but then my idea at that time was I'm gonna copy it onto an 8-hour tape, and that would be great because it's 8 hours. But I didn't realize I was losing quality when I did that. Not to say that it's not impossible to keep some of the quality, but you may lose some of the quality or some of the frame rate or whatever the case might be. But at the time, I didn't really know, and I would do stuff like that. I would make these decisions, and I would lose the original, and I would just have the copies of the copies of the copies. Sometimes it was just a copy, and sometimes it was a copy of a copy, and I just got lost in all of that over the years when I would do the projects. And I did those things out of a feeling that I would do it and then move on. And it was tough because I would not move on because I would realize that I messed up, that I didn't do it right, and I need to go back and do it again. And that was probably one of the biggest mistakes that I would make, was that I felt like I did not have enough time, because I really felt like I need to do this, because then I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do that. I had all these these dreams in my life of what I was gonna do, goals and dreams and things that I was looking for, that I was going towards, that I was hoping for. And we don't have time to talk about that right now. All those things. I've made videos about that. I've written articles about that. It's important for me to say that because I'm saying this is not a revelation. This is not breaking news. That I get lost in trying to run out and do all these things, and sometimes I'm doing too many things, and I'm still doing too many things, but I'm managing. I'm getting better at it, and I'm right about some of it and wrong about some of it, and I'm navigating, and I'm keeping a log, and I'm going through it, and some of it's like therapy when I'm writing, when I'm making videos, and everything else. But it's important to be honest and to admit failure when it's genuine, when it's real. Don't say sorry if you don't mean it. And I'm sorry to people and stuff for a lot of things, and to myself, and I move on, and I grow and I learn, and I, you don't dwell in the past, but you learn from it and you move on. And when you study yourself, you're able to understand yourself, and that is a reference point, and then that can help you understand other people. It can help you understand history, but you got to have some kind of reference that's starting from something that you know. Before you can understand things that you don't know, you have to start with what you do know, and you do know your life, even though it's a subjective perspective and everything and paradigm. It is what it is. Life, it is what it is, and you can only do what you can do. Don't worry about the stuff that you cannot. A lot of times we do, and we shouldn't, but we do, and that's life. But it's a good life if you understand to accept it and to focus on what you can at any given time and try to pick your battles. There's a wide variety of lessons you can learn, and I've learned, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a storm that you go through, and at the end of the storm there's a beautiful rainbow, but you have to get there. And I've said this before, but it's a beautiful rainbow, and the grass is greener on the other side, but at the same time rushing to it and taking shortcuts is a terrible thing if done wrongly. Can I say wrongly? I'm not going to say that you should never ever take shortcuts and stuff in life, but as a general rule, it's dangerous, counterproductive, probably not a good idea most of the time. I think these general rules are like guiding lights, a lighthouse. You don't want to run into those rocks. Not to say that sometimes you shouldn't, but most of the time you're gonna get hurt, and you're gonna sink into the water and never come back. Never let go, but you'll let go, like the Titanic. You'll let go, Jack. You'll let go. So the next question after that third question of what is that? What is the ArnoldAttic, their home videos? Number 4, what is that? The 44 era symbolizes the videos I uploaded from 2004 to 2012. The 44 era. I call it the 44 tapes because I found 44 tapes that I started copying to DVD and then to the internet, and I was focused on that over the years, copying the home videos, mostly just the home videos, but then I started making new videos too that are not to be confused with the ArnoldAttic. And the ArnoldAttic is just videos from 96 to 03, but I continued to make videos at the same time that I was uploading the ArnoldAttic. But at the time, I didn't call it the ArnoldAttic until 2010, and so I had other names for the project, or the different times I would try to copy it from the VSS to the internet, and every time it was a little bit different, but sort of the same. That I was just trying to copy the videos, and it was like embarrassing and overwhelming, and a pain in the neck. A lot of times it was painful because I didn't really enjoy looking at the videos, because I thought the videos were kind of boring and stuff for the most part. But I also felt that it had sentimental value, and that it was a starting point, and that there could be lessons learned from it, from some of it, perhaps to some extent. I say that because that was my theory, my philosophy. I still hold to it, and I believe in it, but overdoing it is dangerous, and you have to make those tough decisions in your life. You have to decide what is over the line, what is too much. Can I say that? I become self-conscious more and more as I get older when I think about what I can and cannot say. It's tough, but it's part of life, part of growing up, perhaps. But the next question: what was number 5? What was the era after the ArnoldAttic era of 04 to 2012? The next era would be the RAM Reflection from 2013 to 2019. I decided to call it that, and I could always change my mind later on, but this is how I want to break up the videos and everything. Mostly videos. We're mostly talking about videos right now, but I wanted to break it up into 3 eras: ArnoldAttic, 44, and RAM Reflexed. So in an outline, it would be ArnoldAttic 96 to 03, the 44 tapes from 04 to 2012, and number 3, RAM Reflection from 2013 to 2019, and now 2020 to the current time of 2022. We call this era, I don't know. I could probably come up with a name, but I decided right now I'm not gonna say anything. The Joey Arnold VN era, Oatmeal Joey Arnold era. I want to come up with a name, but not right now. It doesn't matter. I don't know. But I want to talk about this, and then I need to go move on and eat some food, because I'm a foodaholic a little bit, and sometimes I'm not. But I need to go work on a few things. But I just wanted to quickly make this video. Let me go check to see if it's still recording. It's still recording, and I have to tell you, it's only almost been 30 minutes. So, the last question is number 7. How do you go from this to this? And the answer is, I wrote, first video is from 2013. I was probably tired from riding my bicycle a bunch of hours, as I would normally do a lot, because I would go and teach English over in one district in Saigon, and then go over to the other side of the city and teach English there. And I was running around, and I was also not eating a lot of food sometimes, because I was just trying to save money, because I was trying to only spend 10% of the money that I would make, and I would eat 1 time a day or 2 times a day, sometimes 3, but I was just exhausted and hungry sometimes, and sometimes I was just like frustrated or sad, or a wide variety of feelings regarding my life. And so I was just making videos in the middle of a bunch of drama and everything. And so it probably came out as I was uploading the videos or going live on YouTube or Facebook or what have you, and depending on the video, there could be a wide variety of reasons for it, and I was not aware of what it looked like to other people, and sometimes I was, but I still wanted to keep it up, and a normal person wouldn't. Normally you wouldn't, and normally I wouldn't either, perhaps, but there were times when I felt like I needed a reminder of where I was at that time, at any given time, of how I was feeling. Sometimes I was acting, sometimes I wasn't. Sometimes it was a variation of things. Sometimes I was joking, being silly. I was any number of things at any given moment in life, depending on the year and where I was and all the things that was happening in my life, and I didn't explain it at the time, which a lot of people would, especially YouTubers would do that. You would find a lot of videos where they explain it, and they will edit the video and put something in the beginning of the video saying, well, here's what happened, and I'm going to show you, including PewDiePie, who I would never compare to Red Letter Media, except I did. But you edit the video, and then you put a little disclaimer at the beginning of the video. This is standard procedure, and you put something at the beginning of the video, and you talk about, hey, here's what you're going to see, and this is what it is. A quick explanation of what you're looking at, or at least put it in the description of the video on YouTube. I wouldn't do that. Most of the time I did not do that, and whether or not I should is a good question, but I would say, generally speaking, it's probably better to try to explain, unless if there's a good enough reason not to, which I understand there may be exceptions to that rule. Sometimes I was thinking about that, sometimes I wasn't, sometimes I wasn't aware, and sometimes I wasn't. It just depended on the year, depending on many things. I would have to seriously break down each video in order to help you understand what was going on and why did it look like that, why was it like that, why did it look like I was retarded, and I couldn't really explain myself, and I can't tell you what it was all the time. I'm like, I can sometimes tell you, and I can generally tell you, but it was a long time ago. Some of those videos was a long time ago, and I was a different person in some ways, and for the most part, I'm not a different person. I'm still the same person, but I grow, and that's good if you are growing into a better person. And sometimes in life, you have hard times, and sometimes you don't. And it's crazy, but you gotta face life with what you have. You gotta know where you are, but that is based on where you were. And so you look back and you realize, okay, this is what happened. A lot of people don't take the time to break it down. I believe in breaking it down. You look back and you realize, okay, this is what happened. Some of this is my fault. Some of it was not. Some of it's the fault of other people. It might be parents. It could be other people around you growing up, and a lot of it happens when you're growing up. Most of it happens generally while you're growing up as a person. As you're growing up as a person. Hey, let me say this. It's tough. Life is a hard thing for a lot of people. I know. And that's why I wanted to share my life with the world, even if it wouldn't really make a difference for a lot of people. Even if I ended up not ever going viral. Here I am messing up on talking because it's hard to say, but I've been disappointed at times with life and with myself, and it's been tough at times, but it's worth the the struggle. Life is worth the struggle if you are able to wait it out long enough, because at the end of the storm are the rainbows. The rainbows are some of the best things in life. The gold at the bottom of the rainbow is what you're going for, and it's there, but you gotta stay the course in life. Those were basically my notes, except the part with the rainbow and the storms. I didn't write that down. It just sort of came out. And I wanted to quickly make this video, this what turned out to be 30 minutes of me rambling, for the most part rambling, but with notes, and it's somewhat coherent, somewhat understandable, and it's my truth. Let me tell you, it's my truth. Oh, is it really? Yes, I think it's my truth, and I think it's important to be yourself, to be authentic, even if people think you kind of suck. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, maybe you can get better, but that's life. And this is my pipe, and this is my life, and where's my wife, and what's going on with the rest of it, and what is going on? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. What's going on? People will screw you over. People screw you over. Your mom and dad screw each other over to make you. Life is a potato. Life comes up and life goes down. There's a time to work and a time to play. There's a time to eat and a time to get out of your body. Life is a building. Life is a beautiful building. It's not funny, but it's terrible, but it's great. Here I am. Being a person. Here I am being a person. You have an opportunity to go with the flow or not. And sometimes you will be bullied, and growing up, you can become conditioned by all of that, to be programmed to act a certain way, to think a certain way, and then you're in that box. And you stay that course because you don't want people to call you crazy, or call you racist, or call you whatever it may be at any given time. A lot of people will stay there on that course because they don't want to be hit. And I tell you that you don't have to, unless if you want to. And it's important to realize that you don't have to be what other people want you to be, unless if you want to be that. You don't have to talk a certain way, or look a certain way, act a certain way, think a certain way, feel a certain way, be a certain way. Unless if you want to any degree. You can do some things if you want, And it's good sometimes to do things because it may be efficient, it may be effective. In regards to things that are personal, it may not matter, but at some point, some things will affect other people, and it becomes a question of, do you want to affect people? No, that's not the question. The question is, how do you want to affect other people? Because you always are, whether you like it or not, you affect people, and therefore, by proxy, you're influencing people, and that's a powerful thing. And so you really do have power. No matter how small you are, you have a power. So what are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? And what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Stefan, no doubt. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?